What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got some news yesterday about Wladimir Klitschko pulling out with a back injury. He had a match this weekend against Chisora. He's pulled out with a back injury, but what's funny is about because I read the news late because I don't have a computer right now at the moment. I read the news late, and so it was like when I looked on the website, it was Wladimir Klitschko pulls out with a back injury that's gonna leave him out for 4 to 6 weeks, and then like right above it, it was Wladimir Klitschko his advisor Shelly Finkel's talking to Adam Booth, David Haye's advisor, about a possible matchup. Chisora is like secondary, so it makes you think here. With Derek Chisora was pretty much, to me, a low risk, low reward type matchup. And Chisora, is a young fighter, and Wladimir has more knockouts than Chisora has fights. So the experience factor was something to be looked at with this matchup. Do I think he has a back injury? I don't know. It's just something that to be very skeptical about if he's talking about a David Haye matchup already, and that may be a rumor. Who knows? But overall, I think that pulling out of this if pulling out of this matchup sets up an even bigger matchup against David Haye, then I'm all for it, because I think it's a matchup. Really, to me, I'm at the point where I'm like, fuck Mayweather Pacquiao, give us Haye versus Klitschko. And even though it's a matchup with two European heavyweight champions, I think overall, it's a good matchup to make, because I think that's one of those matchups that's either a guaranteed knockout win for both fighters, because both fighters can get the knockout. And also, something to look at with this matchup is David Haye. After the victory over Harrison, David Haye. Well, I forgot what I was gonna say. I think David Haye actually wants the matchup, but I think that before I think he wanted to build up anticipation for the matchup. Much more than it was about back in April 2009 when it was supposed to happen. Or it was supposed to happen first April 2000, then June 20th. Kept moving anyway, but now Derek Chisora, criticizing Wladimir, saying he fights cab drivers, and I'm like, if he fights cab drivers, then what are you, Derek Chisora? But overall, you gotta appreciate Vladimir's competitive spirit, and I definitely do, because I think he's one of those guys that's just out to fight the best. And the back injury, I'm not too sure about. I don't really think he has a back injury as much as I like Wladimir Klitschko, and I think, to me, he's probably the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Because he's willing to fight anybody and everybody, and that's something you have to appreciate. He tries to fight frequently. He tries to fight the best. And with him, it's not even all about money. He fights his mandatories at a decent time. Fights his mandatories at a decent time frame, and is willing. I think he's willing to take risk, and that's something that you have to look at. As a if you're a boxing writer, analyst, whatever, fan, whatever, that's something that you have to look at. You have to look at a fighter who's willing to fight anybody and everybody. So if pulling out of a fight with Derek Chisora guarantees a bigger risk with, a big risk, high reward matchup with David Haye, then, I'm all for it. But overall, Monday, Wladimir was talking about he'll beat woman beater Chisora, and then, Chisora, the back and forth. And, anticipation for this matchup wasn't, really, to me, I didn't think it was really that high. A lot of people were just anticipating seeing the beating from Wladimir Klitschko, Derek Chisora. That's pretty much what it was set up to be, in a way. Or just a stay busy fight for Wladimir anyway. So, me, like I said, I'm all for the David Haye versus Wladimir Klitschko matchup happening. But let's hope it happens this time. But I think that David Haye has a mandatory in Ruslan Chagayev. I think he has a mandatory in him. And if David Haye really wants to match up against Wladimir Klitschko, I would just vacate that WBA belt, because he's going to be fighting recycled fighters over and over again, and I'm not calling Ruslan Chagayev a recycled fighter. Ruslan Chagayev is a excellent, skilled fighter. But the same people fight for that WBA heavyweight championship, and if it guarantees, because definitely it guarantees more money fighting Wladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko. They talk about the slave contracts, but hell, I'm like, you fight one brother, you beat one brother, you make money fighting, the younger brother, and then you go and you fight the older brother. And I think that they took that waiver out of took the waiver out of the contract for the fight, because they wanted the fight with Vladimir to happen. But it's like so much money and so much mystique if you beat both brothers. I think it would be quite the accomplishment. Even though Vili is about almost 40 years old, I think there's a lot of mystique in beating both brothers. So hell, I would have signed the contract. But then again, I'm not a millionaire. I've never made more than $10,000 in my life, or at one time. But it is what it is. Me, like I said, all for Wladimir, David Haye. Who knows? The back injury could be fictional to set up this fight, especially with the words that were used. David Haye top option, Chisora secondary or backup. So let's hope it happens this time. But anyway, guys, that was me muttering at the mouth about Wladimir Klitschko. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.